Welcome to London. The year is 1605, and we are in the cellars of the Palace of Westminster. Above us, in a few moments' time, King James of England and Scotland and his brother, the Prince of Wales, will arrive to open the latest session of Parliament. In the cellars, down here, we are surrounded by 3/4 of a ton of prime English gunpowder. In a few moments, when they are settled upstairs, I, Guy Fawkes, will take this torch to that gunpowder and send them all to a very noisy end. And you, my co-collaborators, must run! I don't know why we're whispering. They know we're here. We didn't sneak in under cover of darkness. We rented it from them. Well, the original plan was to rent a house from across the street and then tunnel under. But the tunnel kept getting flooded. So we asked an estate agent, and he found us this place, and got it under a 6-month contract, which is perfect, because as it happens, the King closed Parliament over the summer so that he could go hunting. Well, it's the plague, you see. It's very bad in the summer months, so you can't really blame him. I don't suppose we'll get our deposit back, though. So let me tell you why we're in the cellars of the Palace of Westminster, ready to blow up the King and his government. It was 70 years ago, and King Henry VIII wanted to marry Anne Boleyn, but the Pope wouldn't let him. So, King Henry VIII threw the Catholics out of the country, closed down their monasteries, and started his own church, the Church of England. And ever since, the Pope was looking to get back his power in the country. Well, 70 years have passed, and things aren't going so well for the Catholics. Queen Elizabeth I, Henry VIII's daughter, kept them at bay for 50 years and beat the Spanish at war, bowls, sailing, football. And now King James of Scotland and England has come to power, and it's even worse. He's even promised to rewrite the Bible in English and call it the King James Bible. Presumably so he can put it into hotel rooms. I don't know. Anyway, this is the last straw. So, a group of us Catholics get together at the Drake and Duck to plot a Catholic rebellion. There was I, Robert Catesby, Thomas Winter, Kit Wright, and Thomas Percy. And after a few drinks, somebody suggested killing the King and replacing him with a Catholic king. Cheers! And after a few more drinks, somebody else suggested filling a boat full of gunpowder, running it down the Thames, pushing it under the palace, and running away. Cheers! And to be honest, it didn't get much more technical than that. Yes, we had trouble with the tunnel, and then the gunpowder went off. Not off boom, but off poo. It's since the Spanish War ended, and they stopped killing people with it, the quality control has gone right downhill. It really is not a lot more than horse manure and charcoal. Anyway, we might as well get on with it. Caught red-handed! But how did they know we were here? How did our cunning plans fail? Well, I have my own suspicions. Cast your mind back 18 months to our first meeting at the Drake and Duck. It's a lovely pub, but surely a pub on the Strand is somewhere where you organise a football match, or a trip to the theatre, or a stag night. It's not the place to plot regicide. And what about the estate agent? Surely the estate agent must have been suspicious when a group of Catholics wanted to rent this place, when they could have had a perfectly good penthouse suite with riverside views. And what about the gunpowder? Bought by a mercenary and known Catholic sympathiser in peacetime? Surely that must have raised somebody's eyebrows. Yes, sir, how can I help you? Oh, well, I'd like to buy some gunpowder, please. Oh, of course, sir. How much would you like, sir? Well, about 3/4 of a ton would be lovely. 3/4 of a ton, sir? Not planning on blowing anything up, are you? Oh, no. I'm planning a firework display. A firework display? How lovely. Special occasion? Oh, my birthday? Oh, well, many happy returns, sir. Thank you very much indeed. I don't suppose you do free delivery? But what really did for us was a letter. A letter that was written by one of the gang to his brother-in-law. Francis Chesham's brother-in-law was Lord Monteagle, and as a lord was planning to be at the opening of Parliament on this very day. So Francis Chesham wrote him a letter saying, to cut a long story short, make your excuses on November the 5th because something bad was going to happen. And if you have any Lord friends that you'd like to tell, do feel free. Oh, but burn the letter afterwards. Well, this letter gave Lord Monteagle a problem. Either act on it and hope that when 50 Catholic peers failed to turn up for Parliament on the opening day that nobody was suspicious, or use it to get in with the King and hand it over. Well, whatever he was going to do, the King was sure to find out. So, down they come at the appointed hour and catch me red-handed. They take me off to the torture chamber where, of course, I tell them absolutely everything. It hurts, and they're very good at it. So what of the rest of the gang? Well, Robert Catesby, Thomas Wintour, Kit Wright and Thomas Percy all went up north, trying to drum up some more support for our Catholic rebellion. But it's cold, it's wet, it's rainy, it's windy, it's England, it's November. Nobody particularly wants to uprise. So they all head off to Holbeach House in Staffordshire to plot their next move, where somebody comes up with a great idea of drying their gunpowder in front of the fire. Surprisingly, the resultant explosion fails to kill any of them, but it is loud enough to alert the local police force, who turn up the next morning with 200 rifles. True to themselves, the plotters hope to escape by charging the policemen armed only with their swords. They die on the doorstep. It's like Butch Cassidy in The Sundance Kid. Interestingly, the same bullet killed Robert Catesby and Thomas Percy. So there you have it. We tried to blow up Parliament and failed. And on this night, ever since, the English have celebrated by proving that we're not all so useless with gunpowder and setting fire to many thousands of pounds of fireworks in as short a time as possible. And, to top it all, they like to make an effigy of yours truly, cart it round the streets in a wheelbarrow, collecting money for good causes, so somebody gets the benefit. Bit disappointed they insist on throwing the effigy onto the fire. Hey ho. Anyway, I can't hang around here. I've got to hang around over there. Thank you.